Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Patriots Real Time Podcast. I'm your host, Theodes Now, joined alongside Zach Ventola today. For the third time, you have now become the most guests, I don't even know, most appearances on the
Really?
Patriots Real Time Podcast. Yeah. Um,
It's an
Ethan
honor.
Hurwitz, Gillette Nation, he
Hmm.
has two. Alex Barth has two, and now this is your third one. So, before
Wow.
we start off the show, how does that feel?
Well, I mean, that might be the only thing that I'm better at than Ethan Hurwitz and Alex Barth. Like that's a high standard to live up to, and somehow, some way, I'm past that. So I'm sure they had some better things to say than I do, but it's about quantity, not quality. So
Exactly. It's about quantity. As the saying goes. But
yeah,
yeah, for your
exactly.
third time on the podcast, both times that you've been on before this have been great. We
For sure.
talked in the summer, before
Hmm.
the season started, and I don't think that either of us would have said that this would have happened. 14 wins. You won a playoff game for the first time since 2019 in the Super Bowl, against the Rams. So overall, how would you assess this season, and how much of a shock has this year been to you?
I mean, as first off, assessing it, how could you not say A plus?
Yep.
If we want to throw grades out or whatever it may be, I highest score possible. I
Hmm.
would say that my most out of the ordinary, like optimistic, there's no way this is going to happen goal coming into the season for the New England Patriots was make the AFC Championship. They are now one game away from doing so,
Yep.
which is ridiculous. I mean, if you had told me that before the season, I probably would have told you the Patriots went 10-7 and had a little bit of a Cinderella run,
Hmm.
and that couldn't be further from what actually happened, where they go 14-3, 2 seed, same record as the 1 seed. And especially if you had told me this after week 1 or week 3, like
Yeah, 1-2
it's
start.
in, it's insane. Yeah, 1-2 start, and then you rattle off wins after that. Only lose one game since week 3. That's ridiculous. In the best way possible. So, just a testament to Mike Vrabel. What he's put the team through in terms of putting that work ethic in and having them ready to battle every week, never taking a game for granted. No easy games in the NFL, despite what Twitter will tell you. So,
Yep.
uh, it's a shock to me. Although, not even an although. If you had told me 14-3 before the season, I probably would have
Yeah.
looked at you crazy.
Hmm. Yeah, and maybe if you want to throw an although in there, they went 14-3 while losing to the Raiders, who have the number one pick,
Yeah.
um, and losing to the Steelers, who look like a terrible team and look like a team that right now you would beat by 30 points. So,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, to start off the year 1-2, you kind of all or laid this out already, but just an amazing season from the Patriots. You go 4-13, 8-26 in the last two seasons. And before the season started, I was looking for reasons. I was like, "Oh, is this the reason they're gonna fail? Is this the reason they're gonna fail?"
Hmm.
And you know, as Gerard Mayo famously said, "Winning cures everything," and winning cured a lot of my concerns for this team. And now next year, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, everything's great," even if
Yeah.
Drake May tears his ACL. I'll be, oh, you know what? They went 14-3 last year. Nobody thought they could do it. They'll go 17-0 this year. No, but
I don't know if
yeah,
I'll go that far with if Drake May tears his ACL. I think that would
yeah, that would
put
suck.
me into a yeah.
Hmm.
I
But you
don't
know
think
what?
I'd leave bed for a few months. I'd just be
Yeah,
sitting in a fetal position. Just
If Drake May tears his ACL, that's gonna be awful.
let's not put that
Let's
out
not
there.
put it. Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Sorry, I stayed on it. That's on me.
No, 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 no. That's on me for putting it out there. But yeah. So if we want to continue on good things here, the Patriots beat the Chargers. We never, or I never, Austin and I never did a post game podcast for that game. But if we want to run down through that game a little bit before we get into the Texans preview, the Patriots won 16-3. It was a defensive dominance, all around. Milton Williams, Robert Spillane, Christian Gonzalez had his best game of the year, I thought.
Definitely.
Even Carlton Davis had some crucial tackles. Marcus Jones had one of his best games of the year. quietly in there. Caleb Chason was a beast. Anthony Jennings was a beast. Christian Barmore. I mean, I'm just naming the whole defense.
Yeah.
They all had a great game. If someone told me that this team would win a playoff game because of their defense, I would have said, I don't know about that. I think Drake May's going to win them a playoff game. But Drake May
Hmm.
had an okay game, and the Patriots still dominated the Chargers.
Yeah, I think that the defense going into the season, you would have expected that to be the team's identity,
Yeah.
right? Especially with how they attacked free agency with Milton Williams, with Robert Spillane, Carlton Davis, uh, and among others. But uh, throughout the season, offense was the Patriots' strength, as you said, and
Hmm.
uh, last week not so much. But the offense still did what they had to do. They shaved time off the clock. They scored when they needed to, got in field goal range. Andy Borregales single-handedly beat the Chargers.
Yep.
Uh, Single-handedly scored 3 times as many points as the Chargers.
Hmm.
Uh, that's what you need an offense to do, especially when the defense is dominating. You don't necessarily need to go out and score a touchdown every drive. You can instead take time off the clock, play it safe, play conservatively, and it was a great game, both sides of the ball, especially in the second half. I thought the defense was much better in the second half,
Yeah.
especially. I know you
Especially,
can
yeah.
look at the offense. You can look at the offense, touchdown scored in the second half, and things started clicking for Drake May. But defensively, I know they only gave up 3 points in the first half, but I thought it was, I don't know why. I just felt that it was like a very average defensive performance, even though in the first half, even though it was like a very strong one in reality. Uh, I guess it was a bit of like bend but don't break in the first half, whereas the
Hmm.
second half was no bending.
Yeah.
Uh, Regardless, great game, both sides of the ball, doing what they had to do. Nothing fancy, especially offensively, but points are points, and 16 is enough when your defense is only giving up three. Three is enough when your offense is scoring 16.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. And I think with your point on the defense not playing great in the first half, they didn't really get much pressure. They only had one sack, I think, in
Mm-hmm.
the first half.
Yep.
Um, and then they did get backed up in the goal line twice. They had two, well, they had one goal line stand where they forced them to turn the ball over on downs, and then they had a red zone stop where they kicked a field goal, I believe. So
Yep.
yeah, the bend but don't break defense. They kind of were forced into a terrible spot after Drake May threw the interception the first time, which was a fantastic stop by the defense, and that's when I knew that they came to play.
Definitely.
Um, but I don't. Yeah, other than that, I mean, bend but don't break, like you said, didn't really. I mean, they only allowed 3 points. There's really not much you can nitpick. But I am
Yeah.
anyways. Harold Landry, not a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Landry has not really been great, even good since week one. I think he's had a few sacks, but ever since he had that tweaking of his knee against the Saints, hasn't been the same player. Um, Going into the year, I didn't really expect Landry to be great just because I thought a lot of his sacks last year were kind of the Josh Uche sack where it's like the quarterback kind of runs into you.
Yep.
I think he kind of had a few of those this year too. So I don't know, maybe underwhelming season from Harold Landry.
To an extent, I mean, he still made plays when he had to. Like you said, that first game of the season, ridiculous. And I would say the first half of the season or so. But again, as you pointed out, knee injury hasn't really looked the same. He's a player on the older side. Knees, that's a bad thing to hurt. To put it simply, it's difficult to play through those. He did regardless. And especially last week after not playing for 2 weeks, 2 weeks, right? Where
Yes.
he probably could have played if he needed to, if it was a playoff game in those
Mhm.
past two against the Dolphins and against the Jets, probably would have been in there, but no need. Same
Yep.
thing with Spillane, no
Mhm.
need in those last couple of weeks. Rest up, come back for the playoffs, and maybe Landry had a little bit of rust to knock off, or maybe the knee didn't feel as good. Game speed isn't the same as practice speed, especially when
Yeah.
you are limited in practice pretty often. So could be things like that. I don't know if I would say he had a disappointing season. I just don't know that. I think I would say he didn't exceed expectations. I'd say he
Yeah,
just about met them. Maybe he fell very slightly short of them, but yeah, I would say he's around there where he just about met expectations.
yeah, and no, I totally agree with you there. Just every single other free agent outside of Carlton Davis kind of exceeded expectations. You
Sure.
think about Spillane, you think about Milton Williams.
Hmm.
Who else did they bring on? Morgan Moses had a pretty good season.
Yep.
Um,
Chase on, yeah.
yeah, Chason had a good season. Well, aside from a few terrible offsides penalties, but
Yeah.
no,
He
largely
got
a
that
great
cleaned
season.
up though.
He did get that cleaned up at the beginning of the season. That was brutal.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no. Kind of to stay on with injuries here, or
Hmm.
speaking of injuries, Harold Landry questionable for the game with a knee injury. So what you said about his knee not feeling right, I think that could have been the case because he might not play this week. After, like you said, he probably could have played the last 2 weeks. I think he was like forced to not play. He really wanted to play. I think he said
Yep.
someone said something like that. Um, so yeah, the Patriots could be without Harold Landry for this one. And do you think that has a significant impact on this game, or you think Anthony Jennings slash Elijah Ponder will be able to fill the role like they did for the last 2 weeks?
I'd lean towards the latter of Jennings Ponder. I know Chason doesn't really replace Harold Landry. He more so plays alongside him, but uh, still having him on the field. But my guess is Landry plays. Maybe he's on a bit of a pitch count. Again, questionable is typically a good sign,
Yep.
especially this season. It feels like Mike Vrabel has come out early in the week and just straight up told the media he's not playing, he's not playing, he's not playing.
Hmm.
Um, so questionable feels like a good tag on Landry. Should be able to go. But again, if not, I'm not too worried about the outside pass rush, because I think the inside pass rush of Milton Williams, Christian Barmore, even Elijah Ponder, or rather Corey Durden,
Hmm.
and Kyrus Tonga should be good to go. I know he's more of a run guy, but
Yeah.
uh, players like that on the inside should be able to get to Stroud well enough that the loss of Landry or the replacement of Landry with Jennings or Ponder shouldn't be too big of a deal. Could even help, quite honestly, because Anthony
Yeah.
Jennings has had a great year. Uh, very, very impressive, especially considering he was not supposed to be on this football team.
Hmm.
He was in trade talks all of training camp, all up to the trade deadline. He he was what was it exactly like? It was basically said that he was going to be traded,
Yeah. I
and he
think so.
just no one. It was him and Duggar,
Hmm.
where it was yeah, these are the two Patriots who will get traded.
Hmm.
Didn't happen with Jennings. He carves out a role, and it was very well deserved because he stepped up to the plate. Honestly, in just about every game he's played in this year.
Yeah, 100%. He's been great. He had the huge hit on Justin Herbert um, last Sunday, and I bet you and I probably said, "Yeah, Jennings, he's an afterthought. He's getting traded. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he's getting cut. Maybe we probably even said he was going to get cut because at the time it looked like he was getting cut. He was playing in the fourth quarter of a preseason game. You
Yep.
remember that he had a few. I think he had like 3 sacks in a row, and then we were all like, well, maybe we should keep him around.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and Jennings traditionally a guy that is known for setting the edge. Has been, I
Mm-hmm.
think this is his best season, honestly, pass rush wise. Maybe
Pass rush wise,
2023.
1,000%. Yeah, pass rush wise, I don't even think it's close.
Mm,
Uh, in general, I would say either this year or 2 years ago.
yeah,
But yeah, pass rush wise, no doubt. This because like you said, he was a guy who sets the edge, run stuffer. And he was great in that role, and that's what got him a contract extension. But he was never really in on passing downs. That's what they had Matthew Judon for.
mm,
Then Judon goes, no one really filled that role, and now this year it's Harold Landry. Jennings when he's needed to rush the passer, I think has been a very, very solid player at doing so.
Yeah, and I think Elijah Ponder even has been better than Jennings this season. I
Hmm.
think he has like 4 or 5 sacks. A guy that Mike Smith, the outside linebackers coach, said he's the best undrafted free agent he's ever seen during the summer.
Really, I didn't even see
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So he was like Phil Perry did like a whole podcast on Elijah Ponder, and I listened to it, and it was like Elijah Ponder was like the 64th something around there most athletic player in like the history of the combine at that position at his position.
For RAS score, I
Yeah,
would
I think so.
assume.
Yeah.
I
So
could see that.
I was like, wow, this kid is special, and that was like right around the time that he made the team, and
Hmm.
we kind of knew he was gonna make the team. Him and Truman Jones was the guy from Harvard, Truman Jones.
Yep.
He didn't make the team though.
Yeah, Ponder, by the way, going back to what you said, 9.7 RAS score out of a possible 10. That's
Wow,
62, uh, ranked 62 out of 2012 defensive ends from 1987 to 2025.
that's a crazy memory pull by me. I said like
Yeah,
64,
that's,
right?
I think you said 60, I'm not going to say it, but the number after 66, I think you said that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Something around there, something around there.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
might be off. You might have said 64.
yeah, yeah, I knew he was somewhere in the 60s, but yeah, that's an
Sorry.
insane. No, it's all right. It's Austin's favorite thing in the entire world. So,
Oh,
we do
great.
this on the yes sometimes. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah. So he was very athletic. He still is very athletic because that was less than a year ago. But yeah. So Ponder has stepped in and stepped up. Other injuries. Tonga is good to go. Terrell Jennings questionable with that concussion he got against the Giants. The last play I remember Terrell Jennings having was the long kickoff return. So and
Mm-hmm.
Dearness Johnston was cut this week, so I assume Jennings is going to be back for this game. He'll be your
Should be,
kickoff
yeah.
returner. I was listening to Patriots Unfiltered, and a caller brought up, or an emailer brought up, um, what if the Patriots put Travion Henderson back at kick return just for the playoffs? Honestly, I think it's a good idea just because hasn't really been producing at running back. That's not one of the reasons why, but you have Ramondre back. They took him off when Ramondre got hurt, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a little depth. I don't want him to get hurt, but against this Texans defense, which we'll get into a lot more later, but
Yep.
against this Texans defense, you're going to need a few things to go your way on special teams. On defense, you might need to force a turnover, win the field position battle, which the Patriots are going to have a tough time doing. But uh, kickoff juice and punt return juice could be a huge factor in this game. So not even for the rest of the postseason, but just for this game, do you think it would be a good idea?
Um, no, but I'd be on the fence. I somewhat like the idea of just for this game, for the reasons you laid out. I think I would still lean no because
Mhm.
uh the injury risk is just too high,
Yeah.
especially when Henderson dealt with an injury just a few weeks ago, and uh you never know. And Ramondre isn't the youngest running back,
Hmm.
so if Henderson gets injured on a kickoff and then 2 plays later, Ramondre Stevenson goes down. He's also a bruiser. Like he's a big
Yeah.
running back who will run through a defense, run through a crowd. You never know what can happen in there.
Yeah.
I think it's just too much of a risk.
Hmm.
Like, is it more likely than not that the both of them will get injured? No, of course not. Like, it's probably neither of them would. But
Hmm.
knock on wood. But
Yeah.
it's just I don't think it's worth finding out. You
Hmm.
never know. It's the NFL. Injuries happen. Even if it's non-contact injuries happen. Anything can happen. So I don't see why it would be worth it. It's an interesting idea, but I think Jennings is good enough in that kick returner role that there's no point in risking it, especially when the running back depth as of right now isn't the greatest. Like as you said, Johnson released. Elijah Mitchell was released off the practice squad earlier this week as well. I think it's too much of a risk.
Yeah, you convinced me. Don't want to risk an injury. It would give them some it would give them some juice. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Definitely. I agree with that, but
hmm yeah,
the
I would
risk.
assume. you wouldn't want Marcus Jones back there either.
No. And Marcus Jones, I also don't know that he would be that great of a kick returner
That's
because
true.
not that not that I know he wouldn't be, but kick returning and punt returning is not the same thing. Uh
Hmm.
Players preach that all the time. It is
Yep.
a whole different art form.
He preaches that
So
all the time.
yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. So yeah, sure, Marcus Jones is a top two punt returner in the league, top two, top three, potentially top one.
Hmm.
Um, but he hasn't. I don't think he's ever returned kicks in the NFL. I'm
Might have
99%
rookie
sure he
year.
hasn't. Maybe in his rookie year, you might be right, but even then, what's he gonna give you?
Hmm.
He's not used to that role. He's not
Yeah.
trained in that role. You have so many other guys on the roster who have been back there,
Hmm.
who when the Patriots come out of the tunnel every week, a couple hours before the game, and they're announcing the return group, Sarge gets on the mic and goes, I think it's Sarge, might be someone else now,
I think
but
Game Day Connor.
might be Connor. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I think you're right actually. But when Connor gets on the mic and and now coming out of the tunnel, your Patriots return group. It's like 12 guys, or
Yeah.
that's a bit of hyperbole, but like it's a big group.
It's like
Um,
I was about to say, but it's like 7 or 8 guys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like
Hmm.
it's a big group, you have plenty of guys who can go back there instead of Marcus Jones, instead of Travion Henderson, who, um, with all due respect to them, they're all human beings, but I think we'd be, uh, a little bit more comfortable for the sake of the team losing a backup running back than
Yeah.
losing Jones or Henderson.
Hmm. And I don't know if they did this last week. I don't think they did, but I like the idea of Kyle Williams on the kick return, just because he
Hmm.
is explosive. If you lose him, your wide receiver room isn't, uh, I don't know, like cooked. That was the
Yeah, it
best word I can
stays
think of.
about the same.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
stays about the same. Even though I think Kyle Williams is a great player.
Yep.
This year he hasn't been that much of an impact player,
Hmm.
except for on deep routes. But yeah, so that was a lot of
I will
kickoff.
say, I will say, and now this is just gonna sound like because now this is the third person that I've vetoed on kick, but it's just gonna sound like I'm saying no to everybody. I think it would make more sense Williams next week with Mac Hollins likely being
Yeah.
back,
Mhm.
and with the Texans' pass defense is not great. In fact, they're pretty average at defending the explosive passes,
Yep.
which that's Kyle Williams' specialty. So, uh, I wouldn't be against Williams being back there this week, but I think it would make a lot more sense to do that next week when his offensive bread and butter could potentially be there this week against
Yeah.
the Texans. Plus, if you lose Williams this week with Mac Hollins out, that's a bit more of an impact than next week with Mac Hollins potentially back.
Yeah. I'm not even sure what happened to Mac. Like I know it was an abdominal injury, if I can
Hmm.
pronounce words. But did you see the clip of him celebrating after the last
Yeah,
play against the Ravens? Maybe
yeah,
he did something on that play. Me, Austin and I were talking about that because that was a pretty big celebration there.
yeah.
Um,
Could
but
be.
yeah, I think he probably tweaked it at practice. But he looks fine
Yeah,
on the
that'd be
sideline.
my
Doesn't
guess.
look like he's in pain at all.
Hmm.
Um, but so hopefully he can come back
Yep.
next week if they win. Speaking of injuries, Texans injuries, big one to their wide receiver one. Nico Collins out with a concussion, a second concussion this season. Nico Collins has been the best offensive player for the Texans this year, without a doubt, for the last 3 years, probably
Hmm.
without a doubt. He's the most targeted receiver on the team. He has the most yards on the team. He has the second most receptions. He has the most touchdowns. Um, and I wouldn't call him a yak machine, but he certainly good in that department. So, Zach, what are your thoughts, or how big is it that Nico Collins will not play in this game?
Yeah, that's a pretty big loss for Houston, especially in the playoffs where you I mean, just short. Houston, the Texans trust C.J. Stroud, but they probably shouldn't in the playoffs. Not that they can do anything about that, but
Mm,
uh, C.J. Stroud in the playoffs needs all the help he can get.
mhm.
We saw it last week where uh, the Texans fully could have lost that game just because of how bad CJ Stroud was.
Oh yeah.
Even though the final score somehow was nowhere close. Like
Yeah.
it was a blowout in the final score, but that first half it was a battle of which team wanted to lose the game. It was like
Yeah.
Steelers offense terrible. CJ Stroud, and then
Yeah.
but so Stroud needs all the help he can get.
Mhm,
I just said that in a very long way. Um, that's a big loss. I
mhm.
don't know that it's the end of the world. Like that Texans receiver group is deep.
Yeah.
Jaden Higgins, Christian Kirk, Jalen Noel, amongst others. Um, but when you're losing a top five or so receiver in the game, that'll impact you no matter what. So it's I don't know if it's a massive loss. Again, because of that depth, because of how good of a game plan or how good of a coaching staff the Texans have, where they can kind of cover up the weaknesses a little bit
Mhm.
in the offense and spread the ball around, and you know all of those guys can get open. Christian Kirk,
Yeah.
veteran, we saw it last week: 8 receptions, 144 yards, and a touchdown. I think.
Mhm.
Jalen Noel, dog. Like he's
Yeah.
he's gonna always be open. Jaden Higgins, big target, has had a lot of success this year. Can also separate. So it's a loss. It's a significant loss. I don't think it's the end of the world for the Texans offense. It doesn't make me a whole lot more comfortable if I'm the Patriots. It gives me a little bit of a tiny cushion, but it's I'm not looking at it and saying, oh, okay, like that's this game's over.
Yeah. Mhm.
Patriots are winning, like I would if Will Anderson went down or even if Jalen Petrie went down.
Yep, 100%. I kind of checked it out, like, because Nico Collins has missed 2 games this year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was week 18, so it doesn't really count. So it was really one game. CJ Stroud had his best game of the season
Really?
with Nico Collins out. Yeah, he threw for, I believe it was like 312 yards, which was a season high.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had his best EPA in that game. Not EPA per dropback, but it was his best game in terms of yards. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, but so in terms of yards, in terms of EPA, it was his best game. You could argue first or second, but it was also against the 49ers too, which is not a bad team at all. They're
Yeah.
still playing. So yeah,
That defense did. I mean that defense ton of injuries, so
yep. And I'll look what
take
week
it how
11.
you will, but
Week 8, they
still
won, yeah,
yeah.
26-15 win.
Yeah. That's a good game.
hmm
Good game for Stroud, no doubt.
And that must have been the game after he got the concussion for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Christian Gonzalez also got a concussion. I don't know if we mentioned that, but he'll play this week.
He will. Yeah, I mean I don't know that it was a full concussion. Like
It technically
I'm no
wasn't.
doctor.
Yeah.
I'm no doctor, but like if you're the concussion protocol is 5 steps and it's 1 day per step. Like if and he was on step 4 on Wednesday, wasn't he?
Yeah. hmm
So like he yeah, sorry. That's a complete side tangent, but like I don't think he was really concussed. I think he was a little bit more shaken up or maybe the most minor concussion to ever be concussed, but
Yeah.
besides the point.
Yeah. Minor concussion.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. No. I saw him because I thought he got like. I didn't know what was wrong with him, but I know
Yeah.
he was down, and then I kind of saw him go back into the game. I was like,
Yeah.
that is not Charles Woods. That's Christian Gonzalez, and then he didn't play after that. Um,
Yeah.
he checked back into the game, but yeah, a minor concussion, which according to my chemistry teacher is not a thing last year. My chemistry teacher, but it could be a thing. And then
It
one more
is in the
injury thing.
NFL.
What'd you say?
We got it is in the NFL. We have a
Oh
playoff
yeah, yeah.
game on the line.
100%. Minor concussion, not a or is a real thing in the NFL with a
Yes.
playoffs game on the line, but other than that, not a real thing. Um, and then last injury thing, Trent Brown, questionable. I honestly was a little bit surprised to see his stats from this year. He's only allowed one sack the entire year, according to PFF.
Yeah.
Three quarterback hits, and there are 11 pressures. And for context, against the Texans last year, Nick Leverett let up 10 pressures in one game. So, and then he got cut the next week. But so it was pretty bad. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty good. I don't like Trent Brown at all. I think he's a quitter because he quit on the 2023 Patriots. Yes, they were 4-13. Um, and he's definitely not worse than Chuks Okorafor. That's for sure. But well, at playing and his mentality. But
Yeah. Yep.
um, yeah, Trent Brown, huge guy, but I wasn't really too worried about him. But now, looking at the stats, kind of looking at a little bit of film, he's not bad at all.
Yeah. I mean, you said it. I don't have much to add there. He's had a good season. And I mean the Texans O line isn't great, but it's good enough that uh they'll have their plays. Last week was very interesting though with Jake Andrews at center, who's started most of the year at center
Yep.
for Houston. His most of his snaps looked good. And they were hitting Stroud right in the hands or maybe off to the side a tiny bit, but still, still
Yeah.
catchable, still around the body. Stroud just couldn't catch a snap. And
Yeah. He
there
hit
there were a
five.
few that there were a few that were like pretty off. There was one that I think was early where Stroud was just checking his receivers, checking coverage, whatever, and uh ball goes and hits him in the chest because ball snapped early. But I don't know what was up there. Maybe it was the cold. Although Stroud played at Ohio State, so he should be decent
Yeah.
enough in the cold. I don't
Hmm.
know what it was, but he could not catch a snap to save his life. And if that's something the Patriots can take advantage of, get off the ball quick, get into the backfield, just in the range of a ball to potentially bounce your way,
Hmm.
that could be a real difference maker if the Texans and more specifically Jake Andrews and CJ Stroud don't get that fixed this week in practice, which I'm sure they will, but
Yeah, they probably will. But yeah, when I saw Jake Andrews was playing center for the Texans, like I knew he was on the Texans. I saw that. It
did
just
not
like,
know he was their starter.
yeah, I knew he was on the Texans. That brightened my day so much. I
Yeah.
said, Jake Andrews, the guy that couldn't even start for the 2023 Patriots offensive line. He started one game at guard in the last game of
Hey,
the
he had a
season.
good game. He had a good game. I will
I
say.
don't really remember it, but yeah, I'll trust you. Um, yeah, I mean, what was he, a fourth round pick from Troy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Late,
Um,
late third or early fourth. I don't remember.
I think
I think
Mopper
late
was
third actually,
really.
but it might have been early fourth. It was like either the lot. Let's see.
They
I
took
want to say
Chad
he was like
Ryland in the fourth
I
as
want
well.
I want to say he was like 87th pick, but let's see.
I low key know that.
No, you're right. Fourth. 107. I had the
Mhm.
seven.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
good.
early
What was
early
what was
fourth.
Chad Ryland? 137? Or that would be
I thought he was like 112, but I
maybe.
also just said
I
that
have a
Jake Andrews
graphic.
was a
No, he could have been, yeah, like 113, 112. Yeah.
112. Bang,
Yeah.
got one right.
That's great right there. Joe Milton,
Yep.
192. I know that one.
I thought he was 193. Hold on.
I think I remember doing so many rants, and I was like, why would you ever start the 192nd?
193.
Really?
193. We're back.
Yeah, I lied to all those people. I apologize to everyone that I said 192 to. You were right. They should have started Joe Milton because he was the 193rd pick.
Yeah, what
You,
are we
my,
doing? Come
my
on, Theo.
argument was flawed. That's on me. Yeah. So, well, I guess I don't know anything. I know Drake May was the third overall pick in the draft.
I know that one too.
Yeah. Will
Will
Campbell.
Campbell was like somewhere, I don't know.
Yeah,
No, he's
he
fourth,
was.
obviously, and you
Yes,
know.
yes. Hmm. Who else do I know that was good? Oh, Kyle Williams was 69.
That is true.
Yeah. What was oh, wasn't Jared Wilson like 90?
I think 95. Let's see. This segment is brought to you by DraftKings. No, yeah, 95.
Wow.
I'm so
Wow.
back. I'm so back.
I'm gonna do another one. Let's see. I don't know this. Let's think of players. I just mentioned Marte Mapu.
Oh, I feel like I know. 76.
I'm gonna go with. I think 72.
76. I'm so
Wow.
back.
This
So
is
you know
ins-
how I know these? It's because in the remember the cards that I made for the players?
Yeah. Oh.
Well, on most of those, on most of those, I would write if the player hadn't really done anything with the team,
Mhm.
I would just write like with the 76th pick in the 2020 whatever NFL draft, the Patriots selected Marte Mapu.
Okay. Well, yeah, makes sense, but
So I
still
got
impressive.
those.
Still very
Thanks, man.
impressive. Yeah,
Appreciate it.
that's great. Let's talk about something that's not as impressive, and that's CJ Stroud. Under pressure specifically.
Great transition.
Yeah, there we go. Working on it.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, CJ Stroud under pressure. I watched all of his touchdowns, like an hour ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I think one was when there was a guy in his face in pressure. I didn't get to watch his interceptions. I wanted to see like how many were because of pressure, but he only has 4 touchdowns this year under against the blitz. Um, I heard a lot of people saying all week long that he's great when he has a clean pocket. He had a really nice throw to I don't remember who it was early in the Pittsburgh game where he kind of avoided no one and then threw it to a receiver. I don't remember who it was, but yeah, CJ Stroud is not great. He's definitely not going to turn the ball over as much as he did against the Texans, so can't count on that. Um, but yeah, his stats for the year significantly worse than Drake May. That's my starting point there.
It's
So
all that
14
matters.
games. Yeah, it's all that matters. Drake May stats. 14 games played, 3,041 yards. He only threw 19 touchdowns this year, 8 interceptions, a 64.5% completion percentage, which isn't that bad, I guess. Drake
It's
May's significant.
average-ish, yeah.
Yeah, Drake May better. A plus .07 EPA per dropback. Once again, not as good as Drake May. And then a plus 32.5 EPA. And I think Drake May's was 100 points better than that. So, yeah, he's no Drake May, but he's also no rookie year CJ Stroud. Did you see the or not the graphic, the Instagram story that he posted after his rookie year? It was like top 5 quarterbacks, me number 3. Like, come on, CJ.
Pat, Lamar,
Yeah,
myself. Yeah,
Josh Allen, someone
that's
else.
yeah.
Hmm.
Goat. Shout
Hmm.
out to CJ Stroud. I mean, look, the regular season stats are fine, not good, not awful.
Hmm.
Uh, at this point, we've seen it with Stroud in multiple years. Regular season doesn't matter that much. He's not the same in the playoffs. Again, he was bad last week.
He
And I
was
know that the Texans won and they won by a lot. They what was the final
24
score?
points.
30-6.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous for a game that felt like it was 3-0.
Hmm.
None of like 6 of those 30 came thanks to CJ Stroud. Yeah,
Yeah,
and probably 6 of the Steelers 6 came thanks to CJ Stroud. Uh it was a bad game for him.
it was.
And like you touched upon a little bit, a lot of that was because of the pressure that the Steelers were able to put onto him. That's a very good pass rush that the Steelers have, and not one that the Patriots probably can replicate. But when you think about it in a different sense, like pass rush is great, but when you're playing a younger QB like CJ Stroud, who's had questions about his football intelligence, I'll say, uh, throwback to the not the Wonderlic score, but the one that's like the same thing, but they switched the Wonderlic to this one. Is it C2 cognition? Something like that.
I don't know. I only heard,
Whatever
but yeah.
whatever his combine test was, where he got just about the lowest score you can get. I think he got an
I didn't know
18%.
that. Jesus.
It was bad. It was I think there was a I don't know if it ended up being real, but like I'll try to find it, but that was like a big thing going into the draft that his score was terrible. Sorry, he was uh in the 18th percentile on the newer S2 cognition test.
Wow.
So it which replaced the Wonderlic.
Mhm.
Uh Designed to gauge how quickly quarterbacks process information, not general intelligence. So
That's
when
bad.
yeah, that's bad. To put it simply.
Mhm.
So sure, the Patriots pass rush won't be able to get to Stroud as well as the Steelers pass rush was able to. But and yes, the Steelers have a good coaching staff, but I don't think the Texans were going up to the Steelers after the game and saying, "We have no idea what your defense was doing. We have
Yeah.
no answers for what your defense was doing." After this game, you know, as an NFL player, I couldn't tell you. I still couldn't tell you what your defense was doing. That wasn't happening against the Steelers. That did happen for the Patriots against the
Yep.
Chargers with a better offensive minded coaching staff that would be able to pick that apart a bit more. And with a better quarterback with a again, not to like throw too much shade at Stroud or it when you're talking about things like this, like intelligence, it almost feels more personal than football related, even though it is so tied into football. But
Mhm.
so I don't want to call him dumb, but I would say that Herbert has a slight edge there, or maybe
Yep.
more than slight, in terms of being able to identify coverages and tear that up. So
Mhm.
again, sure, pass rush won't be as good, but how how much does that matter? How much does that difference matter with the difference in defense and defensive schemes and more than likely not being able to identify a coverage pre-snap most of the time?
Yeah, Zach Kerr is going to be in his bag this week. He was in
Yeah.
his bag last week. And if he just does that again, honestly, well, he'll have to change it up because we assume CJ Stroud watches film despite not being the smartest football
Oh
guy.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he,
No, he'll yeah.
yeah, if he changes it up, then, or, disguises blitzes, disguises this and that, I don't really know the ins and outs of defense like that. But, yeah, if he does that, if he's in his bag, like I said, uh, CJ Stroud is not going to have any idea what hit him. Um, Another transition here. Speaking of not being in your bag, the Texans run a base defense.
Mhm.
Primarily, they don't blitz. Um, they have the 28th highest. How would you say that? They have the fourth
Lowest
word. Yeah, 28th lowest
blitz rate.
blitz
I would
percentage.
assume
Yep.
you're talking. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 21
Well, it'd
percent
be
blitz
fourth
rate.
lowest. Fourth
Fourth
lowest,
lowest,
28th
28th highest.
highest.
Yeah, there we go. I think everybody understood. Um, yeah,
We got there.
yeah, yeah, we did. But that's not to say that this Texans defense is not great. They are definitely, I guess you could argue Seattle, but they are in my opinion, the best defense in the league. You look down the line,
Sure.
guys like Danielle Hunter, guys like Will Anderson, guys like, um, oh, what's his name? Henry Otorator,
Mhm.
Aziz Al Shahir. You mentioned Jalen Petrie, and then not to mention Derek Stingley too, an All-Pro cornerback. Um, and there's other guys that I'm forgetting too, who are impact players. But yeah. So just overall thoughts on this Texans defense and overall breakdown.
I mean, first of all, it's a great defense. Like you said, it's a top unit in the league, if not the top unit in the league. Um, I will say there are there are pros and there are cons to playing this defense as the Patriots offense. You could look at that low blitz rate and say, well, that's bad for the Patriots because Drake May is probably the best quarterback in the league against the blitz.
Hmm.
And this Texans defense will still be able to get home even without blitzing, even with a four
Yep.
man rush. They have
Hmm.
Will Anderson, they have Daniel Hunter.
Yeah. And that's why they don't
They'll
blitz
be
because
good.
they have them.
That's why they don't blitz.
Hmm.
Exactly. So that could definitely be a big downside for New England. I still think I like the matchup a little bit more than I do last week. Not because it's a better defense.
Hmm.
By no means am I saying that. Or sorry, not that it's a worse
Yeah.
defense.
Mhm.
The Chargers defense is not as good as the Texans defense, although the Chargers defense is still top 5 to 10 in the league. Um, but when you think about it a little bit more of a big picture, or I guess a more specific, broader, more zoomed in picture,
There we go.
um, yeah, again,
Mhm.
got there. Sorry, I'm a bit rusty.
Okay.
The Patriots bread and butter on offense is the explosive pass. Deep
Yep.
pass, Drake May, best in the league at it. The Chargers' bread and butter on defense is preventing that.
Hmm.
The Texans are around average at doing that. I believe I saw they're 14th in the league
Yeah.
at explosive pass or deep pass
Hmm.
defense. So that I think, and maybe it's the same, or maybe the Texans matchup is a bit better or worse, but at the very least, I think that right around cancels out the talent differential uh
Hmm.
of the Chargers versus Texans. I think I like the matchup. Um just because Chargers fans wanted the Patriots because look at the Patriots defense, they don't have a pass rush. Look at the Chargers offense, they don't have an O-line.
Yep.
The Chargers were a good matchup offensively for the Patriots. Look at the Chargers defense, they're good at preventing the deep pass. Look at the Patriots offense, they're good at the deep pass. That's how their offense rolls. The Chargers defense was a good matchup for the Patriots offense.
Hmm.
You look at the Texans, it's like, yeah, this team on paper is more talented than Los Angeles. This team on paper is probably more talented than New England. But New England's game plan, not game plan, but what they're best at fits against Houston better than it did last week.
Hmm.
And maybe this is a bit contradicting because I just said why the Chargers were kind of excited to play the Patriots last week and then they lost, of course. But uh the Chargers, I think in general, were just a worse team than the Patriots, and I think the Patriots are right around the same caliber as the Texans, where
Yep.
that like again, like I said before, the bread and butter, being able to go to their bread and butter, that should put them just over the edge.
Hmm. Yep. And then the bread and butter for the Texans defense outside of the pass rush, because of course that's their bread and butter, but is stopping the intermediate pass, the quick slants.
Mhm.
You would think that this Texans defense would be susceptible to like quick slants and stuff. So you think, oh, Pop Douglas game. Well, Pop Douglas is never going to have a game for some reason, even though against good pass rushes. But for this Texans defense, I believe they're one of the best teams in the league at covering intermediate passes, and it's because they swarm. I watched some of the film on Jalen Petrie and those linebackers, and it's
He's
just
ridiculous.
swarm, swarm, swarm. And I'm gonna get into a little bit of this later, but the way that those Texans hit, I mean,
Hmm.
it genuinely scared me. I
Yeah.
don't even know. They have these like aggressive arm tackles is the best way I could um not arm tackles, but like they lead with their arms kind of. I don't know.
Hmm.
You know what I'm talking about a little bit?
Sort of, yeah.
It's like very aggressive, very violent. And I don't know, they fly around the field. So, yeah, but they are susceptible to screens a little bit. Um so you could do that. I think they're also mediocre against the screen. But the Patriots, I saw some like rant on Instagram the other day saying like Josh McDaniels calls too many screens and Josh McDaniels is so bad. Josh McDaniels needs to be fired. I was like, I don't think Josh McDaniels has called too many screens this year.
I barely remember him calling any screens this year. I mean, yeah, there have been a few, but
Hmm.
he
I don't.
hasn't really done that this year. If you want to say that in 2018, 19, 20,
Hmm.
sure, fair enough. But, I mean, it worked, but
Yeah.
yeah, sure. This year, I don't. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, and I don't think that he is because I was trying to think about it, it's like the only screen that I can think about was the one to Kyle Williams in week 1 that didn't work.
Hmm.
and you probably don't even remember what I'm talking about because it was just such a random play.
Yeah,
But yeah, maybe I made that up. You know what? I think I made that up. So,
you might
I,
have. I,
you know, what? I
you're
might look that
testing
up.
me.
I don't know. I could have made it up. Maybe it wasn't week one, but I know they ran a screen pass to Kyle Williams or something, or maybe it was a jet sweep. You know, it was a jet sweep. So I made it up. So yeah, I can't think of a single screen Patriots have thrown all year long. Um,
Have there been any? See, I this might not even have happened either. Like any tight end screens, I feel like there might have been a couple,
I think there was
one
a
or two.
few to Hunter Henry. I think they got
Yeah.
stuffed on the goal line one time against Cincinnati. No, no, no. You know what? I remember a specific one. They got a penalty against Cincinnati when they were trying to score from the goal line about 100 times. They got a penalty that backed them up to the 10-yard line. Hunter Henry ran a little screen, and Drake May
Hmm.
flipped it to him. It worked. They got back to the goal line, and then they couldn't score a touchdown. But yeah, I do
Yep.
remember one tight end screen. But that's other than that, I don't.
Too
Yeah,
many. That's one too many.
yeah. I like a tight
Apparently.
end. Oh,
No, I
for
do
that
too.
guy.
But
Yeah,
according to yeah,
yeah. Not gonna say his name, but um, yeah. No, I definitely commented on that post. I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I think Josh McDaniels needs to be back next year, just because I think Drake May needs continuity in the offensive coordinator position. Because you look at Mac Jones, three different offensive court, two different offensive coordinators technically, because I won't call Matt Patricia an offensive coordinator, but three different offensive play callers, you could say, in 3 years. Um, I don't know if I could, like, maybe you could make the argument that McDaniels and O'Brien were similar because O'Brien did come up under McDaniels, if I'm not mistaken.
who you said O'Brien?
Yeah, because was he not? He might
Yeah,
he was here in '07 when McDaniels was the offensive coordinator,
I
probably.
think so.
Yeah. He's
I'll
probably
I'll double check, but yeah, I believe so.
yeah, I wasn't alive back then, or so I don't know. But I'm guessing that he didn't. They Bill never hires from outside for like huge positions like that.
Yeah. O'Brien was here '07 through 11. So
Yeah.
McDaniels wasn't here that whole time. Like
Hmm.
2011 O'Brien was the offensive
Yep.
coordinator because that's when McDaniels was in Denver. But
'09, I think he took over. No, '08 he took over because McDaniels obviously got hired the next year.
yeah.
Hmm.
Let's see. Let me double check on
Unless
McDaniels.
unless
Yeah,
he
McDaniels
got
was '09, 2010. So,
really, so he got hired after the Matt Castle year.
yeah.
That makes more sense.
OC and QB's coach 2006 to 2008.
Hmm. That makes a lot more sense.
Yep.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
So a
So
little bit, not a ton, like a couple of years, nothing crazy, but yeah.
yeah, a little bit of overlap there. Um, Yeah. How's your Patriots ball knowledge from the 80s and
Bad.
90s?
My memory is like, not even memory. I don't know. It's not good enough. I'll see you like even because I feel like I don't study the past. Like I'll remember it decently enough if I've lived through it in like recent years. But like, I'll see you post or you or Ethan or um whoever else post like name the old Patriot or like
Mm.
I remember this game and you're walking through like every single little play that I just can't remember at all. Like I couldn't tell you a single thing about. So something that I need to work on, to be quite honest. But like, yeah, I mean, in those Ethan Hurwitz named the Patriot,
Yeah, I don't.
late night named the Patriot. Dude, I don't get a single one. It's bad.
Mhm. Yeah, he put Dick Christie in there for me because I had him on a few weeks ago and I was like, all right, who? Because I was like, I'm gonna quiz you on your Patriots ball knowledge because you know a
Yeah.
lot. So I was like, so who is the Patriot that has attempted the most passes at the running back position in a season? Answer is Dick Christie. In the 1961 season, he attempted 9 passes. I think he was 6 for 9, and then he wasn't even the guy that completed the most passes. It was just attempted. He had no idea. I stumped him on that. I'm so
That's
proud of myself for that. But
that's
um,
ridiculous.
so he put him in the next late night trivia, and I didn't even know who he was at the time. But he sent it
that's
to
that's
me,
pretty
and he
funny.
was like, "Guess who?" And I was like, "Oh, it's got to be Dick Christie." But
Yeah.
yeah, so I'll never forget Dick Christie. What a guy! He was here for 1 year, I think. Um, Yeah, so that's the only Patriot. Well, I probably know a few other guys from the '60s, but
Yeah.
uh, that's pretty much who I know from the '60s. But yeah, I know a little bit about the '85 team. Craig James. I know a
Mhm.
lot about him. Went to SMU, the Pony Express with Eric Dickerson. Um, he actually follows me on Instagram. I think he follows you too, right?
I think so.
Yeah, he commented
I
on one of your
believe
posts.
so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He
Mm.
might have actually. He might not follow. No, I want to say he does. I think there was someone who like commented and reposted and didn't follow me. Some alumni.
Mhm.
I don't remember who it was. Craig James might have. Maybe it wasn't him. There is somebody who I was like dying laughing because I had them on. Like obviously, I tagged them in the post. I had them in the
Mhm.
post, and then they reposted, like they were in the middle of the post, and then they reposted it with the last slide. It was like Yodney juiced. So they like reposted Yodney. Maybe I think that's who it was, but like whoever, they reposted some like random offensive lineman who barely ever played for the Patriots and was just in that post because he was like the only player who went to that college.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, one of those like 1980s Patriots alumni reposted that with that as the cover photo, and I found that like unreasonably funny.
Yeah. No, that is very funny. Yeah. You have any other player interactions that you're proud of, I guess you could say?
Um, I mean, there are plenty. Like I've met so many players.
Well, I meant like
Not
on your
weird
post
flex,
on
but
Instagram.
on
Yeah,
posts. Josh Gordon, I think, liked one or maybe commented. I don't know why.
pretty
No, I
cool.
think he just liked it. That was very random, but I found that cool. There have Patrick Chung, like he
Oh,
followed me for a little bit. He like commented on one of my posts. It was actually it's coming back to me. Um, I had posted about the Patriots getting money back from the settlement of like Aaron Hernandez's contract. Like they got the guaranteed money back or something. Just a random like
how
post,
long ago was
or
this?
probably 3 or 4 years ago, maybe more. I don't remember. Um,
I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah. So like I posted that again. It's just like the Patriots get some money from getting money back from Aaron Hernandez's contract, and Patrick Chung commented on that like, "Damn, let me get some of that money." Like, let me get. It's like so random. Um, I guess another would be on Twitter. Actually, I Devin McCourty. Like I've met him. I've met him a
Hmm.
ton of times. Like he's
I think I might know what you're talking
uh yeah,
about.
he is great guy.
Hmm.
Um I've a lot of those like modern Patriots legends like him, Edelman, guys like that, um, who are on the team from like 2010-ish to like 2020-ish. Like I they this is gonna sound weird, but like they watched me grow up because I would be at training camp every day as like a 3-year-old, and then I'd
Yeah.
be at training camp every day as a 4-year-old, 5, 6.
Hmm.
So eh, Devin, I talked to a lot, and I don't even think he knew this was me. But I was at the Senior Bowl 2 years ago, and like that on its own was very cool. Being at the Senior Bowl, like that was kind of my first big uh opportunity, I'll say. Uh, and I had interviewed Max Melton, the Rutgers defensive back, and I asked him about the McCourty twins, if he's interacted with them, met them, and he gave a really awesome answer. And I posted that, tagged Devin and Jason. Devin quote tweeted it. Uh, that was very cool. Again, I don't know if he knew it was me. I saw him at training camp this year actually, and I the last 2 years at training camp, I had this like, the CVS folder where you get pictures printed. I just had it like loaded with random things in case I like random pictures for if I met any of these specific players, and like for example, like me and Julian Edelman, where maybe
Hmm.
Julian Edelman would come for a practice, and he did this past year. But I was holding on to that for 2 years, bringing it to practice every day. Um, and some of them were like, one of them was me with Chad Ryland, Bryce Behringer, Jake Andrews, and City So, uh, like trying to get that signed. And one of them was a screenshot of Devin McCourty's tweet,
Oh wow.
quote tweeting me. So I got that signed when he was at training camp, and caught up with him, caught up with Jason. That was a really cool moment. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I have a few, real life, social
Hmm.
media, whatever. Yeah, it's very very fortunate to be in that position.
Yeah, that is cool. The McCourty retweet. That's yeah. No, that's a great player. Great
Mhm.
interaction there.
Great
It's funny
person.
that you got that signed. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. But
He
yeah.
said he was like, I've never signed this before. Like I've never signed something like this. Never signed a tweet. So that
Yeah.
was funny.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. For my interactions, I got a Drake May autograph this summer,
Mhm.
and I tell people this all the time, but Drake May signed Mike Vrabel's face. I like mentioned it to him on the yearbook, and he laughed. So now I tell everyone that I made Drake May laugh. Um,
Yeah, Drake May, I got a selfie with him. I got it
wow.
printed, and then I got it signed, and he signed over my face. So
Oh, he's a face
uh
sign.
yeah, he is. Yeah, he signed right over my face. Which is hilarious. I mean,
Yeah.
I actually kind of and by the way, like it's a selfie where there's like so much room around. Like it's an 8x10 and there's like
Yeah.
4 inches of sky above the both of us where he so easily could have signed. Again, not that I'm complaining. I kind of
Yeah.
prefer this because it's hilarious. But
Yeah.
like I was in the crowd, like of course everyone's mobbing. He
Hmm.
fully like takes the picture out of my hand, takes a step
Yeah.
back, looks at it for a
Yeah. Yeah.
second,
He
and
does
then
that.
signs over my face.
Yeah.
So funny.
Hmm.
Again, I kind of prefer that because now I have that little story of just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a cool picture signed me and Drake May. You can't really see my face, but you
Yeah.
know,
Hmm. No.
priorities. I'll take an interaction with Drake May uh over the sky being signed instead of my face.
Yeah. 100%. And exactly, he'll like take the thing. He'll be like, "Mm," and then he'll sign right over someone's face. That's not his
Yeah.
own. Like at least sign over your own face.
No, 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 we'll keep his face as is.
That's true, actually. But yeah, that's funny that maybe he does that now and was like seeing if anyone would notice and like say
I think he
something to
does
him.
it on purpose.
Yeah.
I think he does it on
Hmm.
purpose.
Yeah. Maybe he's like one of these people. They're all too scared to say something, and like I probably shouldn't have said something because like I should have been like, "Thank you, Mr. May," but I was, and then it was just instinct to
Yeah.
just a joke. I don't know, and I guess
Now
he,
you got to get Vrabel to sign it. You need him to
yeah,
sign on Drake's face.
I do. He was so close. I was so close to Mike Vrabel,
Yeah.
and his autograph, but he didn't sign my. He saw
Mm.
Drake signed his face and he didn't like that. I think he
That
looked at
yeah, that's
my
probably
thing
it.
and skipped it. Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
that's probably it. But yeah, so
There's always next year.
there is always next year training camp. I went to
Yep.
5 practices this year, which is my
There you
season
go.
high or whatever. So yeah, last year I went
That's
to 3 practices.
hmm
So just climbing, and this year hope to get the license soon.
Yep.
Hopefully I can drive myself to almost every practice,
There we go.
and then yeah, so that should be cool. It is hot. It is very hot, and I made the executive decision
Absolutely.
that I am not wearing jerseys this year. Not sure why I did that the last 2 years. The blue jersey, so the sun would hit it. I have no idea why.
Yeah.
Also got
You got to
sniped by.
feel for the defense a little bit. Like the offense
Yeah,
gets the nice white jerseys, nice
it's
and cool,
true.
and then the defense is the navy blue.
Yeah, makes them tougher. Spillane
Yeah,
would come out
true.
in a sweatshirt too.
Yeah, I mean that's what Judon would always do too. Long
Yeah,
sleeves, red sleeves,
yeah,
hoodie.
hmm,
I think he said he got it from like Terrell Suggs.
yeah, because he didn't want to
Someone
small
asked him.
his cuts on his arm. That's what Belichick said, I
Oh,
think.
That's not well for Judon. It was just like I think he said Suggs did it like to be tough. I don't know,
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. Not Suggs
but
definitely
doesn't
didn't do that.
matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I never liked Terrell Suggs. Never liked him. I don't think anyone
fair
Patriots.
enough.
But,
Of course not. I'm in
hmm But yeah, he was.
competitive.
Yeah, I guess he was in the first Patriot playoff game that I ever watched in 2014.
There you
So,
go.
hmm
It's a good game too.
it was a great game. Was this week your first game that you've ever playoff game that you've ever went to?
Oh no, no, no,
Okay.
I've been to a bunch. I've been to just about like you know AFC championships.
Wow.
Plenty of other random games. I was at the worst playoff game I was at was the one in Buffalo, the most recent playoff game.
Oh,
Uh,
that's not good.
the Mac Jones game.
Hmm
Which was there are plenty of stories I can tell about by the I was like 14.
hmm
Plenty of stories that I can tell about the Bills fans around me and what they're saying to me that I cannot tell on air, but
Wow.
um no, it wasn't like that bad, but definitely an interesting experience between it being like one of the coldest games. I mean, like the coldest game I've been to. Um, yeah, but like below zero. Between the Bills fans, the Patriots getting killed.
hmm
Uh, Highmark Stadium is not that I've been to many NFL stadiums. I've been to Gillette. I've been to the Brown Stadium. I've been to Highmark, but
20,
hmm?
you go in 2022, the Browns.
For the Browns, no, I went to the game where Brady came back from suspension.
Oh, 16, yeah.
Yeah, which was
The,
sick.
mhm.
So not that I've been to like a ton of stadiums, but I can't imagine that there's an NFL stadium that is more disgusting and
On now, so.
than Highmark. That's a
Mhm.
good point.
Yeah.
So kind of besides the point, but yeah, between the Bills fans, the terrible game, the cold, the stadium, and also the fact that when we got our tickets, we didn't know this. We were like fifth row in the end zone, like awesome seats.
hmm
But obviously, when they're on the other side of the field, you can't see anything. You got to look at the jumbotron. Well, fun fact about Highmark Stadium: there's only one jumbotron, and we're in the end zone. So we're sitting here, jumbotron's back there. Okay,
Come
couldn't look at it because the
on.
Bills fans behind us were the ones who were like grabbing onto my shoulder, shaking me, and yelling about how large Josh Allen's genitalia is. So yeah, couldn't turn around. Couldn't watch half the game,
Oh,
but it is what it is. It was still a fun time. It's a good story to tell. You
it
know,
is.
I was at that awful Buffalo game in
hmm
Buffalo, and I had to deal with Bills Mafia.
hmm
Um, wouldn't trade it for anything in the world other than maybe winning that game. Uh,
Yeah.
regardless, yeah, that was a good time.
hmm Yeah, that game. I actually was thinking about that game this week. I was like, so my like I had watched I didn't get like really seriously into the Patriots until 2023. I don't know if I've told you this
Okay,
before, but
I don't think
I
so.
was a fan, like a really big fan from 2014 to 2019.
Okay,
And then well no, actually that's a lie. I was a really like dialed in from like 2014 to like 2017-ish. Then I started to
sure.
get into baseball, but I was still watching most of the all the games. And mind you, I was like 8 at this time in like
Hmm.
2018 or whatever. And then 2020 I started watching more of the Patriots. Like I would definitely watch every game, wouldn't miss a game. 2021
Okay,
watched every game of the season except for the primetime ones because it was too late for me and I was like 11 years old. Um Probably should have stayed up. I didn't even stay up till primetime games until this year. Isn't that wild?
really, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there weren't really primetime
There
games
weren't
the
really
last
many.
2 years, so yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
But yeah,
That's
I don't
fair.
know. I used to go to bed super early. But anyways, 2021 playoff game. I have one memory of that game, and I turned it
Mhm.
on. I feel like I just turned it on. It was like maybe like the second quarter. Bills scored a touchdown, turned it right off, went to bed. I was like, I'm thinking about that. I'm like, there's no way that I did that. Like I know I watched every single game that year. and
Yeah.
I don't know what. I was like, maybe I wanted to watch like a baseball game. It was January. What am I talking about? Like, I don't even know what
Yeah.
I have so many regrets from that game. Like, I wish I could have watched that game, but I know what happened. But I mean, I saw one of the Kendrick Bourne touchdowns for the first time today. Like, because I made a post
Really.
about. Yeah, I saw the one with the where
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and I had to
Yeah.
cut the
Yeah.
video early. But
Of
the
course.
other one, I was like, damn, he had two of the exact same touchdowns. I didn't know that. Like, I that was really not great. But if you asked me about Zach Wilson's like four interception performance in like week 2 of that season, I was watching. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know what was going on with like seventh grade Theo, but I wasn't dialed into the Patriots. I'm very disappointed. I'm sorry to everyone that had to hear that. That was a terrible thing to admit. Didn't watch a Patriots playoff game, and then they punished me by not having one for another 4 years. But I was at this one, so I definitely watched this game, except for when people got into a fight in my thing. So Austin,
That's
I went with
awesome.
Austin. We
Okay.
went to the bathroom, and so and then everyone was like getting escorted out, and so I had to like stand in some random person's row. I was super tight, like next to this woman. It was super awkward, and I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
watch the Milton Williams sack to end the first half. But
Oh.
yeah, that was bad. Where were you sitting? I was sitting up 300s, 50-yard line.
I was standing room in the 100s, behind
Hmm.
the end zone, north end zone. Uh,
Yes, good view. Or
also it was great. I would highly recommend. Not that I even know if you're allowed to do this, but like they don't check. Um, if you are going to a game and you don't mind standing, buy the cheapest tickets in the house and get there right when the gates open, get standing room, and you're in the 100s.
hmm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no, that's a good idea. Yeah. Hmm.
that's the way to
I'm
do it. So it's
I
a
might
good
do that
view.
for the AFC Championship game.
I would definitely
Yes.
recommend it. Again, you have to be there right when get like
Hmm.
line up at the gates like 15 minutes before they open, but
Hmm.
uh go in the Bank of America gate and that basically spits you right out at the end zone just about, and then uh we were in the end zone like kind of right side ish. I would
Hmm.
probably recommend going above the tunnel because then have uh you don't have anyone in front of you. Whereas like
Hmm.
we couldn't see super well. We could see, but like there were definitely a few blind spots
Hmm.
just with the people in front of us. But if you go above the tunnel, like you're not gonna have anyone above you or in
Hmm.
front of you. You just if you get that if you plan on going to the standing room, you need to make sure that for the next 5 hours, you're not going to have to go to the bathroom and you're not going
Yeah.
to have the urge to go to the concession stand because you will
Hmm.
lose your spot. Even if you have someone saving your spot, they're not going to be able to fully, like, you're going to lose at least a few inches of space, and that's a lot when you're crammed shoulder to shoulder with people.
Hmm. Yeah.
But it's worth
Doesn't.
it. I still recommend it.
Okay. Yeah. Um. Yeah. This week, going to the game again. I have no idea where I'm sitting. Once again, Austin's taking me. So shout out
There we
Austin.
go.
He's not has baseball practice right now. Um. So that's why he's not here. And I quit baseball this year. So that's why I quit baseball so I could do this podcast with you. So
Let's
just kidding.
go.
Yeah. But yeah.
Sorry,
So
I quit Syracuse so that I could do this podcast.
yeah, that's a big
We're good.
one right there. So thank you for that.
Of course.
But yeah, no, so should be fun this Sunday. AFC Championship game. Hopefully it's in New England. Although I kind of want to see an AFC. I know it's like a house of horrors. Haven't played an AFC Championship game there since 2015. No recollection of that game except for the fact that I cried after. Um, so
Fair.
yeah, I know it was snow. I did actually. I don't know why I did this to myself, but a few weeks ago I watched that game. I watched like the first, not the whole. I watched the highlights. I watched just the first half. Who was the guy
Mhm.
that that had the touchdown? Steven Jackson had a touchdown, and I was like Steven Jackson. My goodness, haven't thought about that
It's
guy.
crazy.
Probably that game. But it was a defensive player had either like a fumble recovery. I don't remember who it was, but it was such a 2015 Patriot. Never played another season for the Patriots. But
Okay.
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know who it was, but I think I did like a guess the Patriot for that guy after.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll look.
Um, that's I'm finding it, but uh, let's see. Box score,
I don't think he scored.
defense, touchdown.
He might have just recovered a fumble.
Let's see. Chandler Jones had an interception.
Hmm.
I don't see any fumbles.
Maybe I just made
Unless
this up. No,
I
I didn't.
also just might be in the. Oh, there we go. Chris Harper lost a fumble.
Oh, it was
Shaq
Jonathan
Barrett.
Freeney. Jonathan Freeney.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah. Wait, is this
In this game, no. Unless I'm looking
no?
at the wrong year.
No. Oh, was it? It was no. It wasn't Geno Grissom. Chris
No,
Hart
no Patriot recovered a fumble in this game.
forced a fumble. Maybe I don't know. I know it was some turnover. Maybe it wasn't him. Could have made it up. Definitely remember a Bronco, or maybe it was a Patriot fumble. I don't know, but I know that I saw Jonathan Freeney. I was like, wow, that's a guy right there. Went to Rutgers. Patriots defense is really built of Rutgers.
Shout out. Oh, I am on the wrong game. See, I looked up Patriots Broncos 2015 AFC Championship game, and the lead ESPN like link was for a game in November. So I was on the wrong game. That is on
Okay,
me.
let's see if
Now
I'm
I have it. Uh Box score, New England recovered fumbles. Jonathan Freeney. Yeah,
wow. That's
from Peyton Manning.
yeah. That's kind of wild, yeah. Who Akeem Ayers was number 55 before Freeney, right? Or was
I
Freeney
think
even
so.
55? Yeah, Akeem Ayers. What a guy. Love Akeem Ayers. I know he's 55, but I don't know if Freeney was. Yeah. Who's your when you see like the thing where it's like drop insane ball knowledge, who's your guy that you go with?
Uh Dude, I don't even like see like I don't think about that much.
Hmm.
Like I would go I don't know if I would go with like a good player. You know,
Oh
like
no.
yeah, you could go with a good player who's like a Danny Woodhead isn't like a mythical pull, but people
Mhm.
would call that a mythical pull, you know.
Yeah, it's because especially
Or
people on
like
TikTok. I don't like
yeah.
people on TikTok. They don't know ball. Not ball enough.
Or like same you could say the same with just about any Patriots running back. Like you could say
Mhm.
that with Stephen Ridley, Rex Burkhead,
Yeah.
Jonas Gray even.
Hmm. Jonas
Um
bigger, better pull, but he was on the cover.
Jonas Gray is a better pull, but yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Um So like I would just go with like an Obi Melifonwu and just have some fun with it. Like second
Yeah.
round pick, highest paid practice squatter in Patriots history, I believe. When he was on the Patriots, I'm sure that that number has changed now. But
Mhm.
like shout out Obi Melifonwu, man.
Yeah. My
That's what
guy.
that would be my immaculate grid when there was one that was like Patriots Super Bowl champion, and yeah, I got the like unicorn or whatever it is when you're the only one on
Wow.
Obi Melifonwu.
That's a good pull right there. Yeah. My poll would be Matthew Sexton was on the team for about
Yeah,
5 minutes, followed me on Instagram, kept unfollowing me.
really.
Him or like Rally Webb. I actually DM'd Rally Webb. I was like, I found a picture of you. Can you sign it? And he was like, Yeah, I got you. And he sent me his address. So haven't sent it yet. But yeah, Rally Webb, shout him out.
Fire. Shout
Hmm.
out Rally Webb.
Yeah,
I think I have
great.
his autograph actually.
Rally Webb had a fantastic what do you call it? Like when you two people jump in the air and they like side. You know what I'm talking about? Like a celebration.
Uh,
You know when they
Bump,
like
whatever it's
yeah,
called.
like a
Yeah, yeah,
side bump.
yeah.
Fantastic side bump with Brandon Schooler. That was about it for his
Uh,
Patriots career, but
that's
um
crazy. Is that where you're
against the
having him
Colts.
sign?
No, I don't. I have the picture like somewhere over here because I never sent it. But is this it right here? Nope, that's not. I don't know. I can't find it. But I think it's just a picture of him running or
Yeah,
something from the 2023 yearbook.
sure.
Um, but yeah, shout out Rally Webb. That was I was so happy when I found that. Also, shout out JJ Taylor. Love JJ Taylor.
Goat.
Yep,
Great guy.
he's a
My,
former Texan.
he is. My biggest, or like, most like shout out JJ Taylor memory is just every day he would stay out after training camp for like an hour after practice to sign for everybody. I
Wow.
mean, he was probably late to meetings because he was signing autographs for so long. Like security would have to drag him inside because he just wanted to be there, sign for everybody. So shout out.
Yeah, shout out JJ Taylor. We now know why he never made the team, but um, late for all those meetings. So
Fair.
yeah. All right. I think that'll do it for the podcast, Zach. Thanks for coming on the show for the third time, a
Absolutely.
record
Anytime.
breaking third time on the Patriots Real Time Podcast.
Yeah. Let me know
The pa-
when Ethan or Barth match that, and I need to stay on top of that.
100% we'll let you know the
Thank you.
first
Thank
time
you.
that happens. You might even get to four before any of those people get to two. You know,
Double up on them.
if the Patriots go to the Super Bowl, you're coming on the podcast for a pregame podcast.
All right, word. I'll be there.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Yeah, that'll do it. Follow Zach at Pat today. Um, and yeah, that's it.